No matter what.
Right. She's laughing because I just, yeah.
Laughing at your hammer.
Oh. Is the camera, which way is the camera? Oh, you got the camera. It's the microphone. Can I call the meeting to order? I think I've signed everything, Leanne. Not necessarily sure of that.
How many's there?
Leanne, in this
Oh, yeah,
big giant
okay.
one? In this big giant one? Was it just one place to sign or is there multiple places to sign? Okay, good, I already did that. Whew, all right. Hey, I bet everybody wants to get home, so thank you everyone for coming very much. Nice to see you. To call this meeting to order, it's 7:07. Yes. I apologize for being tardy. We were finishing our employee review.
Would you pass this to you?
Sure.
We'll hit the appointments later.
Yeah,
on.
we still have to do that later. All right, we'd like to approve the July 6th Selectmen minutes, and they are right in here. Everyone get their emails in the office. There we go. Did you have a chance to read them over?
I did, and I mean, I have some issues, but I have no, there's some issues with all of them, so I guess I'm not gonna make any big deal out of it. For one thing, present via Zoom, it says residents, and I know for a fact that not all of them are residents, but most of them are.
Right, I move we approve the minutes. We have a second.
Last second.
Yep. All in favor?
Yep.
I can't see Kathy. All in favor?
Yep.
All opposed? There we go. All right, we need to approve the warrant 27 for 2023 and warrant 1 for 23-24 and payroll warrants for July 12th and 2023, July 19th. We already signed them, right? Okay,
I second it.
I'll sign it. Was that enough?
yep.
Yeah, second.
Yep. All in favor?
This is awful. No,
I know it
second.
is hard not to see her.
Um,
Yep. Okay. RSU 10 report. Is there anyone to report anything new from the school Hey, Pam.
put this in the ends pile.
on the plans? Nothing from RSU 10. We have a road report. I know we
So I have
do.
a question right off the bat. I see in my little file here that there's some contracts for goods and services. Are these the same as the ones that are in the packet?
The ones in your packet are last year's to compare to. I just got those today.
Oh, so these are all last year's. Wow.
As a resource.
Well,
Right.
we had last year's last week, so I guess I was thrown off by that by the last meeting.
That's
So,
it.
so we have only the 2 contracts to sign at this time then.
Looking for my road report. So many papers.
It's on the table when you.
Oh, I know. I put all my papers together. All right, road report, got it. All right, work has begun on the south end of the town farm road to fix the washouts from the rainstorms. We've been out on most of the road, the tarred roads to patch the large potholes. Pratt Hill Road has been smoothed out to make traveling better until we permanently repair the road. Jeff Stearns would like to meet with the board soon to discuss grants. I'll be meeting with him in the next week or so. The June 30th, 2023 rainstorm, which we submitted damage estimates to Oxford County Emergency Management for, may not be declared a disaster, and we are waiting to hear as about the June 16th and June 18th storms. Respectfully submitted by Ben McNeil.
Can you ask me a question about this? Do we have only these 2 people who are only McNeil Farms and Johnson Excavation? Oh, okay. I say, Dave, aren't you gonna submit a price sheet for road contract? I was asking Dave if he was gonna submit numbers for this year, and he's shook his head no. Both prices have gone up, but then again, what hasn't?
Right. So we're looking at contract for goods and services for road stuff. And we're looking at last year's versus this year's, as all of us have seen in the community and going to Home Depot or anywhere else. Prices have gone up for fuel, gone up for equipment, gone up for labor. And that is reflected in some of the price changes that have all gone up.
I move we accept these contracts.
I second that. Kathy?
Kathy doesn't. I should have scanned them and emailed them to her. I did not.
Okay. All right. So What do you want to do? Kathy doesn't have
I
them.
want you to say all in favor.
Kathy has not even seen these.
Well, two people can approve them.
Okay,
You say move it right along.
moved and seconded. All in favor? All opposed? Okay. Thank you, Ben, for your hard work.
You wanna sign in?
I'm gonna assume the other contracts will come along by and by.
Don't put it- Oh, good, you got a file.
Now, I never call for the amendment.
Hey. The BRIC, the brick grants, this is the form from MEMA right here. Is that the grants we're talking about?
It's hazard mitigation grants, I think it's involved with that, right now.
We're talking about the grants, the brick grants.
Yeah. Jeff Curtis is working, I talked a couple times with him this week, and he also come meet with us. With the board as well as, I gotta meet with him, talk about, we have like 5 different sites, and we have applications in that we're trying to get some of that. Administration, when it comes through. Plus, I'm working with FEMA on other, we got a whole lot of things. The infrastructure money, the president signed that here a year or two ago. This is involved in that, and we have a lot of discussion, and mostly on bridges and private culverts. Just going to be more information on it, we haven't shared with me, other than calling and saying, we want to get together with all this and discuss. Within the next week or so, and I think he might come to somebody next month and be actually be here to talk with you right up to me.
He gave us 3 action items to look into. On,
I've been working on the medium income thing, and I've been talking to them, sending them what I find.
That whole process is really small. We're working with them, but it's small. Then we got all this FEMA stuff involved.
yeah. So just,
I spoke to
yeah.
Jeff Humphrey, who's from FEMA this week, and he told me to kind of put a couple of figures together that he was looking at, that they were going to recruit up to $15,000 on emergency work and be done on nights just to get people home. And it looks like it's going to be around $100,000.
getting people home during that storm.
FEMA money for other repairs.
Yeah.
But you don't want to get back to us with more information. He called me about, well, last week. And he said, those were the numbers that he was working out.
Yeah.
But I've met with him several times here, we've gone out, we've looked at the roads, they took measurements. They've been doing a ton of work. So,
Yeah.
a couple of them storms are looking at combining them with one, the December storm and the May 1st storm. When the December storm, we had the snow right after the storm, and it just everything got covered up, so nothing really got worked. Then we had the May 1st storm,
Right.
they're looking at combining those. And
Well, some of these brick grants, just so that the community's aware, a lot of the information is redundant, but they break things out by income, by race, by, it's just so much information that based
I
on
thought that this was,
how many,
this whole part has to do with the census, is that?
Yeah.
correct?
yeah, census,
It's
then
nothing to do with the brick grants, that's to do with whether or not. our
the town
is
qualifies.
Low to moderate income.
Right.
And-
Yeah.
Right.
And as I suggested at our last meeting, when I tried to see about community development block grants, a different grant structure, but when I tried to check into that for the town of Hartford, that teens of years ago, we were not 51% low and moderate income. And according to this, if I read it right, we are still nowhere near low and moderate income.
Right.
And therefore, it's entirely possible that we would not qualify for this grant anyway, unless there's some way that they can pull some strings to help us out.
And he did tell me that there was a couple of new grants that was coming out, he didn't even give me any of the details, he said he wanted to wait and stuff.
Yeah. But all of that information they take into account before we can even qualify, which I know Leanne's working on some of the information now, so.
Pam, are you suggesting that Jeff would like to meet with the entire board, and should we schedule him to show up to talk to us at a select board meeting?
I gotta talk to him tomorrow, and if he wants to meet with me, I'll look at the top of these projects, but I'll ask him, we briefly talked about, I think yesterday when I talked to him, that he thought he'd like him and the selectmen meeting and discuss it tomorrow. So it's possible we can get him in here on the next selectmen meeting, and he can go over all this right here at the start.
Right.
I'm just hoping to get us some information to be used on some of these projects. When I meet with him myself.
Great,
We received 2 complaints, but they've been dealt with, there's
Well, I had a couple of days ago, this weekend I was out riding around looking to see what was happening after this last rainstorm, and I drove up into Darrington Road and well, I could see an ambulance in my garage, and I happened to be going up that way, so I rode up in to look around on Darrington Road and Darrington one. And apparently the ambulance has gone up in on Darrington Road, way up here. He went in further than where Jeff went. But not as far as the people at the end. When I got in there, I saw the road was all torn off. So when I went up and
This is,
I saw.
is this for Kathy? Maybe you could get files for her? Okay, I just got 2 of these.
okay, so you have 2 of the other one.
Okay. Oh. I see one by Darrington.
thank you for sending your crew out to get people home that night, that was,
He got stopped there, he hasn't been pulling up, I don't know what's the problem, but I don't even know, the people that I talked with at the end of the road said it was one of the camps. And I'm not even, they were all gone, I'm trying to write that. But I saw where they pulled down into one of the side driveways and went up there. And I don't, I mean, I don't know anything about it.
I have one more thing.
Well, they drove in, they drove all the way to the end, but they didn't dare to drive across that bridge before.
Yeah,
So they tried back and back, then they tried to turn around with one of those side driveways. That's where they got stopped. So the two road complaints you have both are doing the damage to the road. But I called Big Save, and they should have acted today. Going up and try to fix a couple of those problems, you know, they're asking about getting a lot of money put in that road, and like I told them, I said, it's not my decision to come up here and spend a lot of money. I said, there's not a lot of money been raised for Darrington Road. We had the article, if it passed, we would have put in some money, the money that was in the article, but I said that got defeated, so that money's not gonna happen. I have taken FEMA up in there on 2 different times now, and showed them some of the washouts, which in the FEMA money, there's gonna be some FEMA money for Darrington Road. Until I see the paperwork, they get it all finalized, I don't know. They're not gonna just throw the money at us, and we have to do, I have to do all the bills, receipts. Leanne and I put it together by the road. And then we'll give them the total of damages, and then they're gonna cover it, so they don't just send it out. So that's kind of what's happening on the two point you have on there.
Right.
Darrington Road is a lot of work. A lot of work, the ditches are higher than the road. There hasn't been any money put in that road for years. I don't know who determined, or how it came about. Anytime I've ever been road commissioner, I've been under the impression that we've spent very little money on getting the upper end of there, just enough so people can get in and out. And that's about all that's ever been put aside for money this year. It's been a small amount. These people are asking, they want the summer, they want it fixed up, the summer road. They want a bunch of work done. So.
He's a road commissioner, he doesn't have to. So by the way, in the relevance of time, when we have community input, we want to try to keep everyone to 3 minutes. This is a brand new electronic item, and I haven't necessarily figured it out yet. I did play with it for a while, so don't laugh at me. I haven't figured out all the remotes, and the numbers are small and it's dark in here. So I've got it. Someone will actually be able to get 1 more second out of it. So, all right.
So-
And we have, this is pertaining to the road report.
Pertaining to the Darrington Road last meeting, Kathy and I talked to the people, she was there when I was talking to them. When I asked them, I said, what do you think it would be better to take the road back and then have it as a personal driveway? It would be easier to maintain a driveway than the whole road. And then you could plow it, because then it would be yours. And he did not want any part of that, because he thinks the town should fix the whole thing. Kathy was there, Kathy heard the whole conversation, she just kind of agreed that. I mean, if he's complaining that he can't plow it, just take it over, then he can control the road, it'd be his private driveway.
She can't hear you. Maybe we should do the stand up thing.
Yeah, I absolutely think so.
I don't think they're gonna agree to taking that as the whole project road. And that did get mentioned when I was speaking with him the other day, and I don't think that he has any interest in that. They want money put into that road. They told him we have no money of any amount this year, other than what FEMA's gonna give us, as we pay him.
But-
We have to put into that road this year, and said, if you want to start and talk to the selectmen, work your way into the budget committee. And we put some numbers together, and if the budget committee approves money for this road, then I can take that money and come up here and work on the road. I said, I just can't come up in here and start rebuilding.
Well, the other thing is that for a road to become private, that goes to town meeting too. It's not like he can just decide to take it over, or we could decide that, oh, you can have it. That has to go to town meeting. Maybe.
Okay. And what is that?
Dan Stockford from our attorney was contacted by Julie Sampson's lawyer about the water issue on San Manis. So Dan, our attorney, wants to either speak to one of the selectmen or come to the next meeting or a meeting to talk to all of you. It's up to you.
Where is Dan located? Augusta?
Not in Isaacson.
He's in August.
Lewiston?
I'd say come to a meeting.
You all right with him coming to a meeting?
He has been to a number of our meetings in the past.
Okay, let's,
The next meeting or schedule a special.
You know, that's a good question, you know.
what if we had him come at 6:30 before the next meeting?
It still has to be a meeting for us to meet with him, I believe, although meeting with the town's attorney is is executive session under MRSA, yada, yada, yada. Section A, I believe. A for no, it's section E.
So could we meet with him from 6:30 to 7? As an executive session, then go into
Yeah.
select board?
I think so. One of the things about meeting with your lawyer is it's important to remember that the meter is ticking.
We'll have it on.
Oh, I'll tell you what.
I'm sure he'll be charging by the minute, so. Kathy, are you all right with the 6:30 meeting on August 3rd at here for executive session? 6:30
Yep.
to, okay,
Yep.
Oh, me about 2 weeks ago, we talked for about half an hour. And he said.
Okay, we'll pay for it. We'll pay for it. Every syllable.
okay, do we,
Town's fault when those people built that house down on the block. She made that choice when she built her house.
Well, did she build it or did she buy it? I don't know that answer. Could be.
When you go right in the woods and build your house right in the middle of the point you live, then you get flooded out, it's all out.
okay. Next on the agenda is the constable report. Do we have one?
So that's 6, we have decided, Jen, 6:30 on August 3rd, you say?
Yes.
So I'm trying to get that in here.
Very quiet. Very quiet is good. We will celebrate that. Okay. CEO report, which I believe is in here.
We didn't submit a report, but we have the junkyard issue.
Yep. So junkyard violations, I'd be happy to talk about Mr. Harlow.
You have met with him?
Yep, Scott and I met with Rodney Harlow this morning on his 2 locations that we had sent letters on. And both locations, he's removed a lot of equipment, cleaned up the yard. It only has equipment on it right now that he's using for truck parts. And it looks almost like a totally new site down on Lower Town Farm Road. He's also brought, well, probably about 3 months ago when we sent him the letter, he had like 13 vehicles all across the front and deep. And now it's just a couple of big construction trucks and one of them is registered, one he's working on a motor and all the parts are there. And we discussed with him, there's a mobile home there. And as soon as he's ready to start doing some work on plumbing or anything, we have notified him today and we'll be notifying the property owner that permits need to be filed before any work can be done. So, because there's no permits on it yet. So we were very pleased with his progress. He's moved a lot of things to Auburn to the crusher. So the properties look a whole lot better than they did.
I got a question,
Yes.
Sue.
What's that?
The lot on 219. The lot on 219 with him. Did you walk up in where he's got the grass mowed?
No, I just went through the front part of the lot. I didn't walk the whole property.
Can you hear me?
Barely.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so we went, I
lot-
went in to the
The
beginning
lot
of
up-
219 property, but I didn't go to the back.
Did you go up in where he's got the grass mowed?
The area I went to had grass mowed, yes. I don't know if it's the same grass. It's a lot of property up there.
Yeah, I just noticed he has mowed an area there, and I was just wondering, he's got stuff parked up there.
Well, the area that had the equipment prior to this that we were complaining about is almost clear.
And this is talking about the lot on 219.
That's where we were. Well, that's where I
But,
was.
but you said that he's also cleaned up on Town Farm Road?
Yes, Town Farm Road looks wonderful. The Lower Town Farm Road, yes, not the junkyard
Right,
area, but yeah.
Well, fair enough, because he's got a permit up there, but he does not have a permit for these other sites.
Correct. And do you have someone that wants to
I think you have someone else.
Somebody has their hand up, but I don't see anything else. iPad.
Oh, that's Kathy. I think we already did that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, we have other,
I think we only have his number.
oh, I'm so sorry. Al,
My question is, I'm giving you a B plus for figuring out that lesson where you go. Could you just enlighten us how that came about, because you actually hired Harlow to start everything up, so. Just give us some kind of, I'll hold my head out there and with my old plow, well, so a lot of them with my old plow trucks, but I understand that you're the one that came into the town office and had a lot of problems. So I was planning to clean that up this spring anyway, and it's gonna have nothing to do with your request. And I was going to go up and come up with all.
all comments come this direction, please, okay? This is not any vendetta. We are going to be very respectful to everybody because we all like each other. We're one community, please. So
Okay, so.
Al would like to celebrate that there's some great work being done.
B plus, I give them B plus.
B plus.
I would just try to understand, you know, how it came about, so that's why I was asking Jim, if you couldn't answer. Robbie Howard bought junk, and he stuck it up at home with it. And I was going to do it in my own crew, but I didn't have any time to go and do it. So I know Robbie, and I asked him, I said, you wanna go there and haul in trucks? And that's what he did.
Nice
It
job.
wasn't anything to do with you running around town, police.
Okay. I believe we have other. I'll get better. Sorry, it's not useful yet. Right.
Yeah, honestly, you need one, yeah, you just hit the top and it goes.
I
Oh,
will,
well, she's invested in this one.
this is
she's
the
gonna
very
have to
first
figure it
one
out.
and I have to figure it out, okay? I
Yeah,
took it out of the
yeah,
box
looks
just
like-
before the meeting.
Looks like there's more buttons on that than a TV remote. I don't know, it's a little scary to me, but.
Okay. So we have other notices and violations that have been sent out.
Yeah, I don't think there are times, but I think he gave him 30 days.
Okay.
That's correct,
Great.
from the time of, yeah. from the
I'm
time
noticing.
of
Okay,
receipt, yeah.
great. So do we need to discuss this at all or?
No,
Great. So we did send out some other notifications based on complaints that came in and they have 30 days to respond and hopefully take corrective matters. And I do have to say, when we met with Rodney Harlow this morning, he was very courteous and said that he sees some spring cleanup happening across the whole town and he's benefiting with work from other folks. So he said, thank you to the select board and the town because he's had.
I dare say a lot of it's spring cleaning because this spring and summer has been a little too wet to do much of anything.
It has, and
Safe bet.
so, okay. ACO report. Okay, we actually just met with the ACO, and I sure will. And we're gonna be setting some protocols in place that other communities use. There'll be logs reported and every month we'll be getting a log on when calls are made, when they're being answered, how it was resolved. Also, a monthly report be coming from the ACO that has not been reported before. We thought it would be helpful to have a better line of communication and to know more about the resources in the community versus no one's taking an animal or whatever. So we're trying to clean up a better line of being accountable, and so that we also can communicate better with our community. Because if this doesn't work, then we'll look at other solutions. Yes, Diane.
So
Oh,
I just want to thank Doreen Jackson from Cozy Kennel. In the fall, we had cats on dog park, and we attempted made contact through RCC multiple times with the ACO, never returned calls. We did finally get a return call 3 or 4 weeks after, saying there was no room to put a cat anywhere and she couldn't help us. I reached out immediately to Dorothy Jackson and she helped immediately. Along with this spring, I called and she was able to take cats, kittens, and, you know, big problem in Hartford, Doreen has been trying to clean up many places, including the place on Parker Road. Which is awful, and she's not getting any help from the current ACO, so I'm very.
That's my understanding.
Great feedback, thank you. I just learned about the situation on Tucker Road myself, and I'm thinking maybe we could assist this woman with anyone that wants to donate. We could put a box up in the town office and people can make donations of cat food to help support those cats until we come up with a better solution, because she is feeding those cats, correct? The lady on Tucker Road,
Well, that's what we were told.
that's what we were told. So, but it's a lot of cats and,
It's,
Well, and they're also
It's not
increasing
Right.
in good shape.
yeah. No, I know many of the cats have got health issues, and which is terrible, and
probably many will be fine, and Doreen is taking this on, working with the. She purchased a lot of medication herself.
There you go.
already.
We were incredibly lucky to have her as our kennel in the town of Hartford when that was the case. She was asked again if she would be willing to consider taking on the town of Hartford, and she said, no, not anymore.
what is the
Sad.
protocol if she's able to help? Is there any funding or accounts that we can look at to help subsidize the animals that are being?
We do have a reserve account. I think there's 10,000 in there. I'll have to look again. That
An
carries.
animal control reserve?
Just
We can get to use it as a cat.
So we still have, well, that's just it, a barn by the side of the road, there's nothing like it dropping off to the kittens.
They do it at the pond too.
Yeah, they do.
I just wanted to make it clear that she's been phenomenal. I call because I love animals and I'm not leaving one in a cage. So as soon as I got one that morning, she prepares a cage, let's. You know.
Can-
She's been awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we get a card to send up to Lorraine? Thank you card.
Yeah, in Buckfield, there's a community. That she works with. They
Yeah,
have her loaded, so that's why Doreen's agreed.
I
to
believe they're
take
called
her.
community cat advocates,
Maybe.
Something like that, yeah.
I think so.
So that's why they're overloaded and she's helping with it on the road.
Right,
Yeah.
and I think they may look to finding homes, but I think they also do trap neuter release. And if
Yeah.
they could just be neutered, they wouldn't be an invasive species anymore.
Because we were thinking of that as a possible solution on Tucker Road.
Yeah, Hartford has cat troubles.
Yeah, unfortunately, because it's the same cat breeding, there's a lot of nasty birth defects and herpes. So it's,
Yeah,
I found a stray cat in one of my buildings yesterday. Boy, Dinah was on it too. She's
Ugh.
awfully nice to her cats, but
no,
she wasn't putting up with that.
not sharing her bed, is she, Diane? All right, planning board report, which is in here. Did everyone get a chance to see that and read it? Yes,
it's draft minute. No, those were approved minutes. I don't think we put those in. But I could next time.
we've got the planning board minutes in here. Approved, yeah.
Well, I guess I'd suggest that we don't need to read it if we want to be part of it.
No.
Read how many building permits we've had, but other than that, I don't know if we need to read the whole thing.
So at this point, we've had 9 building permits. Last year, we had 8 at this time. Plumbing permits, we had 3, and last year we had 9 at this time. Just
For what it's worth.
what it's worth. Yes,
The minutes are on the website. You can read them.
okay. Thank you, planning board. I know they have plenty going on. Ordinance committee meeting was canceled for yesterday because we are gonna be working on tonight on a listing to give the ordinance committee for priorities. And there's some things that have been passed down by the state that we need to look at the ordinance committee level for I'm trying to think of what the terminology is, but
You're talking
regarding,
about LD 2003?
yes, I was trying to summarize it in real words versus LD 2003.
Yeah. You could
It's about breaking apart
You could
property,
do
having another house on the same property,
not breaking apart.
not
property,
property,
Allowing
another,
multiple residents on a given lot.
Information online today, but
oh, this
I don't
came
know
in
if you want
today.
the ordinance committee to look into it, decide if we need an ordinance or not, or if you want to do that yourselves.
I think we
I
should
think
read
you
this
need to-
through.
What's that?
I said, I think the select board should read this through and,
My understanding is that we don't have to decide on this immediately. So I think that we have until at least the end of this year. So I guess I'd like to suggest that we table this until such time as we have a chance to read all the information. This is a significant packet.
It
and
is.
Since it's just been added to us, I haven't had a chance to look through it, and
what do you think?
having to look through stuff in the meetings makes it hard.
Yep,
I spoke with Scott today and he was talking about hiring someone to write the ordinance. If we do decide to have one instead of the state laws, it's very complicated, but
Yeah, well, that might be the sensible way to go about it.
did everyone hear Leanne? Did everyone hear Leanne?
Did anyone hear that?
So, our CEO, Scott, suggested that after going through some of this stuff, that we possibly hire someone to write the new ordinance so it meets the state requirement and is easy to follow through with, which we'll look at after we,
That's something to look at. I mean, see that,
Yeah.
or look through it and see that it's fairly complicated, but understand that the state regulations are, we can't have anything that is looser than the state regulations, but if the state regulations are adequate, then we might decide that what we need to do is just follow that. You think not?
but with this one, you can't make it stricter. You can't,
you can make it stricter. No, you can't.
no, you can make it.
Broader.
You can allow more houses, but you have to allow at least what the law says.
Right, well, that's, but allowing at least what the law says is what every state statute offers us. If we wanted to have, if instead of, 2 houses on a lot, we wanted to have 14 of them, then we'd have to write our own ordinance.
Right. So it's not more stricter, it's more.
By giving you the power of states.
I like the way you think,
I believe.
but,
Well, we'll look at what the state says and maybe put it in some English and make it so people can actually decipher it versus party of the first
Yeah,
part and
yeah.
major growth areas and
but I don't know that everybody really needs to understand
No.
all about it.
No.
Just, just maybe the gist of it, that's what people need.
so we're gonna
Really
move
don't
forward
check
with
it.
creating an ordinance list tonight.
Sure.
Okay. I suggest that we put no spray on there and that we come up with some solutions on cutting out spraying on not only our major roads, but down over near agriculture. And I think that we want to be awful careful. And I know that the ordinance committee didn't move forward on that last year, and I'd like to see them do that.
The main thing about a no spray ordinance is it affects both the main Department of Transportation and
CMP.
CMP that
Yeah.
hires Lucas Tree Service to, squirt herbicides at the side of the road with long range squirt guns. You know, and those are the ones that I think we really have a big issue with. I mean, it'd be great if people in town could use, organic methods in their yards too. But those aren't the people, those, nor even farmers for that matter, are the people that we would like to be able to regulate. I think what we want to do is save our streams and our roadsides from being indiscriminately sprayed. And what we learned, since we did pass this ordinance once, and it was basically annulled by the Board of Pesticides Control, what we learned is that in order to do this, we will have to take over the mowing of 11 miles of state road, but we don't have to mow it every year, we'd have to mow it every other year. And I just looked at last year's mowing contract, and that is $110 an hour. I'm not sure how many miles an hour he gets, I'm sure it's more than one. But so there would be every other year a fiscal note to this, that we would have to maintain our roads.
So the DOT guy that I spoke with had also mentioned that any small trees and stuff that we cut down, it was actually quite a swath off the center of the road, but that they would want us to chip them. That's a pretty pricey. I mean, I know for mowing, we won't have that, but I'm sure the mower, I'm trying to think, I think he said 35 feet off the road, they're responsible for spraying on.
So I guess, you know,
Or
and
35 feet from
maybe
the
a
center.
little more information on this, and I'm not sure right now in the select board meeting is the ideal time for this, but it occurs to me that if something is mowed on a regular basis, you don't have to chip anything because it just gets mowed.
But they were talking
It's-
about
it's-
going
it's-
even farther back, and
It's
that's
the
why,
it's the neglect of mowing that causes the chipping to be necessary.
so that was my thought, we could have the ordinance committee.
I believe you have a hand up in the audience.
Can you stand up, please?
Stand up and
Please.
identify yourself. And identify yourself. That's-
And identify yourself so that we all can hear you.
Working on this for a bunch of years. So what it was, it wasn't for any private person.
Thank you, David, Diane.
It was more or less for Lucas, if you weren't following the law, not to spread on streams or anything. So basically, people, they wanted to spray us on a wall or something like that, that wasn't an issue. So basically, it was just because of Lucas and if you wanted to, on some of these roads that are way back or places way back, you could actually string trim those things where, like, if you did it every 2 years, you wouldn't be mulching anything. Because you're not talking a lot of roads. You're only talking 140 and 219, which is nothing.
What about the rest of the roads in town?
They're all,
Those two roads are already under our review.
they're already being mowed.
What we have is 11 miles of state road. That's the only thing we need to take over that we don't already.
So who knows, the same guy that we pay $110 mows every road?
Except the highway.
Who has been hired by the institution to do this for some time now. If you go back a little ways, Rock Living used to have a farm, and he brought it to town and have a second one, and people on it, and we never had to.
So we definitely need to talk to DOT, because they were saying 35 feet from the center of the road has to be maintained. That's a lot of feet, which you don't want
Center of the road,
to.
but 35 feet from the center of the road doesn't mean 35 feet off the road. The right of way is actually not that far from
I'm just
the edge of the road.
Stating what DOT said that,
Yeah,
in
but
order to
35
get-
feet
if they
from
didn't-
the center
Yeah.
of the road.
yeah, that's what I said.
How wide is the road?
18 feet, 20 feet.
Next week.
The road is 66 feet wide. Sorry,
Road right of way.
Okay, so it's 10, Steve just says 10 feet from the white line, where you have to show them the road. It's not really.
It's not that far.
If you want a higher speed, you do it, and you would be glad.
Steve's got enough on his plate right now. He's not even gonna be able to sleep.
Probably higher than me, I guess.
So,
Evidently.
so it'd be 20, DOT guy I talked to said, if the road's 10 feet from the center to the outside, then it's if the DOT guy gave me the right information, that's 25 feet we gotta keep mowed, that's a lot.
No, it's not.
So
I'm sorry, I really think you
No,
must have
I,
misunderstood.
either I missed some, that's why I
I
said
think you might have
the ordinance
misunderstood him.
committee, I guess we'll have to look at that.
I believe I just heard Mr. Borzelli say that it was 10 feet from the white line on the edge of the road. Not that they all have white lines, but
A lot of stuff I don't even know, I mean, put so much salt
there's that too.
on, you guys want to do that, you know?
I would have given you more time. Okay, now you're done. All right, do we have a fire warden report? Oh, no, ordinance, so. You agree on no spray?
I absolutely agree on no spray, and I've been trying to prioritize it for some time now.
Hey Kathy, any ideas for more ordinance stuff besides the LD?
I'm trying to think.
No walking backwards up Main Street with a turtle? Like a Portland one. It's an ordinance in Portland. Can't walk backwards with a turtle.
I can't think of nothing. We had the no spray and you're gonna keep up with it.
Communities
2003.
that require you to have matching hubcaps,
Wow,
and you have a certain amount of time.
Pennsylvania, it
After-
must have to
if
be
you-
Amish.
If you lose one hubcap, you have a certain amount of time to replace it. Depends on which kind of community we want to be.
Right. Well, we can certainly get them started on no spray, can we not?
I don't see why not.
Great.
So the thing, you can officially make a motion that this will be their list for you.
I would like to make a motion that the ordinance committee focus on a no spray ordinance that would continue for the 11 miles on State Route 140.
You don't just say a no spray ordinance for state roads in town. Then you don't have to worry about which roads or what, or how many miles are on which one.
I was trying to narrow it down for them
I think you'd be way better. off
and
to-
work with DOT. So that's my motion.
I second it.
All in favor? Okay. All right, treasurer's report. That's you.
Cut back and you have it. I think I left it for you.
Yep.
Oh, and the bank reaches for almost zero.
Has everyone had a chance to read the treasurer's report? Excellent. Good job on the setting up the new accounts. Thank you.
Can't wait to see how much we earn.
We need to move and make a motion to accept the treasurer's report.
No, we don't usually.
Great.
You want me to show you the second account?
I'm about to.
I do have, remember that tax foreclosure we were working on? We had until July 24th to pay those 2 years taxes, and I got a second check today to pay those 2 years taxes, but PO taxes before those liens, and I've emailed them each time that the payments are going towards the oldest taxes, like they're required to do. Haven't heard a response. So I'm just letting you know. And I'm sending the email to our lawyer and,
The lawyer who was working on that.
was, yeah. It might be a quick. And,
Well, why are we not surprised?
and the new ordinance that the ordinance committee wrote last year requires us to send a second chance certified letter after I send the foreclosure notice.
Even though we've already been through all this.
And, I have to.
You know, that guy's had enough chances, and if he's ignoring everything anyway, I guess it doesn't matter that much, but you gotta do what you gotta do.
Please do that so that we do it right the first time. We're just discussing a foreclosure property that wasn't filed appropriately several years ago, and it affects everything that goes forward. And so thank goodness Leanne's on it, but if we don't file it right the first time, they can come back at us, and it gives them more time, and it's not fair for everyone that's paying their taxes on time, and getting things done. It's not fair that others are given different rules. So we'll file them. Great. Thank you, Leanne. Cemetery committee report.
I've got no, Ken Violet, I've got nothing new to report other than that within the next 2 weeks, we look like we have to let them know how to work out schedule.
Did you find that it's kind of wet outside?
I rode all day today and I didn't find any wet. where I-
Good,
So I had about 5 hours of overtime.
nice,
And it was dry, very dry.
excellent. Calendar reminders, do we have anything coming up? Can we just take August off?
The planning board is meeting on the 14th of August, but I was gonna put that on the list.
And they're meeting on the 14th of August because,
They decided that they were having them.
it's all good with me. Just wondering if there was a reason behind that.
I'd heard that people are gonna be filing permits, but I don't know if they did or not. Through the grapevine for the Goodwin's people.
They submitted their preliminary sketch.
They did.
For their subdivision,
Yep,
for the, oh, no, that's not a
we'll
subdivision.
never do a subdivision.
That's not a subdivision. What are you talking
Bonita,
Yes, hi, Juan Bishop.
would you stand, please?
Well, I guess I can do that. This Saturday, of course, is the Hartford Heritage Society's 18th car show down to the East Sumner Church from 12 to 3.
Hey, that's a great calendar reminder.
Music. However, I cannot participate because I will be the swap shop from 12 to 3.
How much, is there a cost to that? Because they're raising
about? No,
money.
it doesn't cost money to show up.
They'll be like, I think there's gonna be like lunches. to-
They sell lunches, and I think they're counting on making a lot of money on selling food.
Great. Okay. Unfinished business, do we have any? Bulky waste collection, which we tabled from us. Meeting.
We used to go, just have a last meeting because they said you hadn't gotten the bill yet, which we still haven't gotten. But it doesn't matter because if we have a work collection, is in the meeting, so it doesn't matter.
So,
Unless it affects, unless it affects the amount of money we have remaining for another bulky waste collection.
And currently,
Correct.
we don't know that.
I do have to mention, I've been up and down several roads, and the piles of wood that were out there are gone. So is anyone aware of any wood sitting next to the road? I know 6 piles and all 6
Farron
gone.
Hill Road, the Peggy Matthews still has some wood sitting outside of place.
Got one call last week, on something like this, about the room.
Well, the ones on the roads I went to that I knew were there before aren't there, so either someone picked them up but the road's clear. Al,
Can we stay up here?
yes,
And identify yourself.
Right, if you only have a minor couple of people, did you make a deal with Archie when he comes out with the garbage truck, just to take the stuff out? It was not raining. It was leaving, they let me drive.
I'm thinking they're having issues with the SAR, they were very late Tuesday and they were driving on not a normal time. So I don't know. And they're waiting behind, and they're waiting work, I don't know if they're tendering.
I don't know how much stuff is left out there, like you said, once you pick up or people taking.
Or washed away.
In the gutter, no,
Well,
yeah.
A few tires laying out there, I think a couple of more.
I saw a refrigerator up here, but there's no sticker on it and it wasn't during bulky. You're not gonna pick it up.
I think somebody's supposed to want it.
It's a free range piano.
That's, $1,000 fees.
So we would not collect it, like y'all have all the pallets, or maybe have these, so we would not collect it because they didn't have the manpower to do it.
Go ahead.
I think it was a misunderstanding, because the board sent them, ours is a letter with clear, do not pick up tires without stickers or refrigerators. And it said no commercial construction material or a large amount of wood. I think there was just a misunderstanding.
Because they didn't pick up like any wood.
Because on the solid waste committee, we had done that list of stuff that those things could be picked up, including boards and nails. On your list that I got from Lou, it said no wood at all. Which I have right here. But that is.
Which could lead to the confusion, couldn't it?
No, if we do it. The police are thinking of those in the police now, I do, I have. That's not one that would be used.
That's the one that was submitted by the ordinance committee.
You mean from the,
from the solid waste.
solid waste?
Yeah.
Well, the solid waste committee did something after this and put in everybody's use fire. So this is like. We did that afterwards. And then went into the last new fire. So we had, with that, and with the nails in it.
But she,
Nail, yeah, we talked about everything.
Well, I know Archie's is very short-staffed, as everyone else is. They're having equipment issues because I've heard that right from people that work at the Big Apple. They're right behind there, so
We pay for a service.
yes, we do. Absolutely.
she's the one that was in the newsletter.
But that's not the one Archie's has.
Another death in the family? They had another death in the
This,
family?
His good mom, who's my cousin, yeah.
Wow.
2 years old, yeah.
Oh, geez.
We're
I
so
know he
proud.
lost his
So I
dad.
thought it was that, since you say that, I just never even crossed my mind, I think we'll talk about waste management.
You know,
Thank you for not doing that.
I know, it's just not.
because I know he lost his dad not that long ago. He lost his father not that long ago.
Like, clarify, quantify, exactly, measure.
Oh, no. That's hard.
Large.
We really need a measurement. Yeah.
So just going forward, maybe we can publicize that too, for all of us. I don't know how we get that out,
But we have a newsletter.
I mean,
We have a newsletter.
yes, but from what I've been hearing, you got to buy. No, from the previous. So I guess
The
a little
list.
bit of communication, which I have issues with all my relationships too. So, you know, I'm picking on you guys, but let's try to clarify the quantities and make sure we all know what we're getting into. And if I does it on their contract, you just come up and say, look, you clean with this, and we got this. Are you gonna kick back some money to us or?
No,
or what?
we pay for what we collect, right?
Oh, is that the way it works?
That is the way it is.
You can't do any more than, well, we can change that.
No, it's hard to say. We're not his only town.
He doesn't know which road to go on, there's only two people now.
My experience. There.
You're 3 months, just never times.
Okay. Yes, Ken.
Time.
Just a general question, when it comes to the waste contract, is that a yearly contract?
Yes.
And.
Well, no, it's a 3-year contract, and we, it's yearly in that the price structure is based on a given year, and he guesstimates for future years. It's a 3-year contract, and generally speaking, we have, with all of our extended contracts like that, we have allowed an extra 2 years at the end of that contract if both the contractor and the town is satisfied with the
How
product.
much longer do we have a contract with that?
We were on second year.
I think so.
So I'm just wondering if it's possible when this one runs out, that we have to sell it waste as well, when we look at different options.
We did that one time and the price was out of this world.
I think that, as time goes on,
Maybe,
businesses.
yeah, right, should businesses change, of course, everything's getting less expensive over time.
Doesn't cost anything to ask.
Yeah.
Experience.
There you go. Cost was astronomical and also they
Okay.
wouldn't touch us with a 10-foot power.
Right. All right, open session.
So no, actually, we're just gonna be more specific next year with our actions.
Correct. I mean, I'd like to know, or have us keep an
How
idea
does
of,
Kathy feel about this? I feel like she's being left out of the discussion.
What's that?
Kathy, how do you feel about bulky waste and any debris that's still out there, any wood debris?
I don't know. I don't know how much I haven't seen any out there, so. Is there much still out there? Can you
I
hear
know
me?
the roads that I went on, they're all picked up. But someone said didn't you say there's a pile, Peggy's got a pile or something,
I said that there, I was up to Peggy's and there was a pile outside her place.
wood pile?
There's a pile
I don't know.
of in Garden Road and toilets.
Somebody has their hand up over here.
There's a toilet, yeah.
Okay, Lenny,
Simone,
For open session and you kind of backed up. So I will leave it up for open session.
anything else on bulky waste? We're all good at this point? Yes, Bonnie.
Well, for some of the ordinance committees and solid waste committee, and, like I said before, we had met in the ordinance committee in February, it was my intention to be on the ordinance committee in order to accomplish some things which all fell through, things I really didn't have any control over. But my intention on being on the committee is to help the town, and with my experience and background, and being able to collaborate with people is to make things happen for the betterment of the town. The solid waste committee is a new thing, so I listened to all the discussions and everything. However, they were one of us that every month on the solid waste committee, they come up with guidelines for the bulk waste pickup. And in fact, these guidelines, and Lenny and I happened to meet at my house, and we worked on this and we fleshed it all out, the things that you talked about and we agreed on for bulk waste. So it kind of frustrates me that we did all this work all year, we met virtually every month. Except maybe for a couple of skips, and we had this work, and it was a solid piece of work, and this information went into the newsletter. However, it did not get to the people we have a contract with for bulk waste. So again, it's like really frustrating, the committees and do the work and the hard work with people who are also committed on the committees, yet the information doesn't get to the people who it needs to get to, so I just have to say, what's the point?
So, did you want to add into what she had to say? Okay, go ahead, because then I want to say something.
Because the insert is the same one that's in the town office. But the one that you said from my phone that I actually got is not what was in the newsletter or over here.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing. It just said no commercial construction material or large amount of wood. I tell everybody, you can't put out a truckload of wood, a wheelbarrow.
Select board changed it, scooted all take responsibility for it, and then we would be done with it.
We didn't touch any of the lists.
If this paper is exactly like that paper, somebody had changed the wording. That's what Bonnie's trying to tell you.
It is the same, they just said, no, large amount of, you can't tear down the shed, put it out the side of the road. They just misunderstood it.
But it wasn't work, it wasn't just our knowledge, it was other people who like it, our neighbor down the road, Chuck Mayer. Probably never gonna finish.
They don't understand.
Right, well, that's what I'm saying.
So why doesn't the select board have a conversation with Archie's with the current list that came right from bulky waste? I'm happy to make that call and tell them that this is where our expectations and they were not met. And then talk about especially the wood issue, that people still have wood. Not many, but there are still piles by the road, and that we need a better determination and tracking, because next year we can't have that.
And like David said, you've got to quantify. So if they might take all our power from the bees, why didn't they take 5 or 6?
Right, not all or nothing. It should have been,
Everything there, I mean.
So,
Even if they sold that, it would possibly.
listen, I don't see what it says. Anything about what,
They don't want to work.
am I missing something? Or is it a definition? Large amounts of construction, this is on the street, toilet, says that.
let's say lumber.
Large amount, I think.
What large amount doesn't really tell you. What is a large amount? Is that a wheelbarrow
Well, you
load?
know,
Is it a
That
pickup truck
is the
load? Is
thing, I
it?
mean, you know,
Yeah.
that is the thing. I think that, you know, one of the things that has to happen is it has to be quantified
Quantified.
and probably by, you know,
Yeah.
cubic yards of, or what?
Okay, so as a select board, can I? I'm happy to make the call to Archie's. We'll come up with a quantified and before next year's bulky waste, not only do we want to make sure we have a quantified how much they're gonna take and what kind of specialty for wood, how many pallets. These are all things that Archie needs to say and then follow up. And if they don't, we should have a penalty based on that, not just because we don't get charged a tonnage fee. I mean, because I can hear him saying that, but you know, people are stuck with this stuff and we need to know. So
Well,
I think we do
And-
have
and
to
it says
clarify
here-
that.
It says here no toilets, but. people
It
have-
says
have
no
no-
large amounts of the following.
I don't think anybody has a large amount of toilets to throw out mostly.
And that's the letter that went right out to Archie's right there. It's got their name on it.
You know, and if we don't allow toilets, do we allow tubs?
No large. It was just an example of what, it's like commercial. Items, you can't.
Yeah.
Clean out an apartment building, you put 5 toilets out the side of the road.
I think this year's process
So
went
the
a
single-
whole lot
the single
better, but
to- The single toilet up at the end of Garden Road by Hermit Lane should have been picked up then? Because it was not, as over, it was no larger than any other toilet I've ever seen.
Not a large.
That's a whole bunch of questions.
Steve,
Steve Osmond, I think the problem is, I admit it, is he gets paid, the more he knows it, the heavier he is, the more he gets. The truck problems, staff, that was a whole thing. This year before, he was taking things that were free on the side of the road, for instance, 8 by 10 campers and throwing in the garbage. And I mean, it was, you know, it's money he was grabbing, so him just to take little and none, I think that if he had the staff and the equipment and the time, he would grab them. I think that's what.
I think you're probably right about that.
That's why they sent them the letter, because he was taking whole campers and.
Yeah.
And they want to pay for that.
well, Dave and Bonnie are absolutely right. We need to come up with a better system. We so appreciate all the work the solid waste committee did and all the meetings you guys did, including you, Lenny. So We should wrap up this year with a conversation to Archie's. Oh,
I have-
Catherine. Yep. Go
I have
ahead,
something to
Catherine.
say. I know as of this week, he's putting all the recyclables in with the trash.
Because he doesn't have the trucks, and the truck was in an accident.
Yeah, it's broke down, I guess, or something.
He is recycling, they're taking it back and sorting it.
What's that, Leanne?
They're sorting it back at the, wherever they take the trash. They are recycling.
Oh, oh, okay, all right.
Come out of the box truck and have barrels and that's what they're doing on the demand. They're actually separating them. It's a lot of work for the guy to get them out of that box truck, because they're not actually separating it as they think about.
I probably found it was a lot easier than trying to pick it out of the trash. Okay, I'd like to table that. I will follow up with Archie's and after a wrap up conversation with Bonnie and Lenny about that for this year's. Is that okay? Great. Yep. Open session. Lenny, you are on the docket.
Okay, I am setting a timer to make sure I don't go over 3 minutes. I want to bring up the fact that the Hartford News was accused of outing the entire town of Hartford's email list, which did not happen. I called First Light and asked them if a list of emails is in BCC, would they show up if somebody accidentally hit reply all? No, that would not happen. And I asked if, which I did not do, but I asked if somebody could copy and paste them, and the answer is absolutely not. If they are in BCC, that cannot happen. So please keep that in mind. The Hartford News, despite being accused of it and accused of, you know, other things, did not out the town email list. The other thing I want to,
Yep. Sorry,
nope,
go ahead.
this is my turn. The
Yes,
other
I
thing
just
I
said
want
I
to
was
bring,
sorry and to go ahead.
the other thing I want to bring up is on June 15th, under Treasurer Report, Lee motioned to keep the recreation group as a town entity, keep the newsletter group as an independent group from the town. Lee motioned, Kathy second, all in favor, 3. Then under unfinished business, somebody complained about an email being sent from the Hartford newsletter editor to selective recipients, which is not true. It was everyone who was known to be a resident of Hartford. And this was all about the ATV issue. Then under another area, I believe this was under telecommunications policy. There was a whole long, our electronics communication policy, there was a whole long blah, blah, blah about what's wrong with the email that was sent from the Hartford News, which was meant to be helpful. So I resigned to try to save the Hartford News and sent out an email. And then I thought about it and some people approached me and I asked to rescind that resignation, which I tried to find
You've
acceptance
got
of
about
in the
10
minute.
seconds. Go ahead.
I've got it. I could
Yeah.
not find a place where my resignation was accepted and
What happened? Did we lose?
I don't know.
I think we lost internet. Oh,
We lost everybody.
I have asked to rescind the resignation, and people on the Hartford News Committee want me to be editor, therefore I am. Thank you.
The Hartford News is an informational piece and not an editorial piece, as far as I've been aware for all the Hartford Newses I've had. I don't believe the Hartford News is going away at any time soon.
It certainly isn't. And Susan,
Excuse me,
you can't,
did we
you
not
can't,
just say that?
No, in the email.
You just talked and now it's my turn to talk. So the Hartford News will continue, of course. Last week inadvertently, a email went out with some great resource out of the town of Hartford office right here. It was not sent as a BCC and it had many emails on it. And so we are working on better steps so that that doesn't happen again. It was not a Lenny email. It was not a Hartford News email. It came from the town. And so we're going to be working on better steps so that that does not happen. Okay. So I'm not sure about Hartford News and database, but this was an email that came out of the town of Hartford with some great email, free courses and a bunch of cool stuff. So, but when we send out an email, we do not want to share everybody's email.
Public
So-
information.
Right. So it also has a disclaimer on the bottom of Leanne's email, and we noticed it right away, and we will be very careful as the future continues. So please forgive us. It's a human error. Okay?
Excuse me, stop muting me, number one. I received an email that said, this is a town resource list. Do not send emails to this group. It was from Susan Goulet. I
Yes.
wrote, hold on. I wrote, why are you revealing email addresses of everybody in town to me? I have never seen this list. And you wrote to me, the email was sent from the town office with free community programs attached. Since you have no problem using the Hartford News email list for your own purposes, I was asking you not to use this list for your own communications. Unnecessarily nasty, Susan. You did not like that I had a different opinion about ATVs. And you did not bother to inform everyone in town, and I've already discussed this with.
So what we would, we would like
Stop
to work on the next
muting me.
topic. And does anyone else have anything else for open business? Yeah, go ahead.
I do. We received a letter. In email. We received it. Each person in the select board received it from Christine Muma. And one of the things she suggested, it was on the subject of prosecuting junkyard violations, and she works with Glenn Holmes, former town manager of Buckfield.
Yeah,
And he has offered to come and talk to the town a little bit about how things went for Buckfield when they decided to move forward with their town cleanup project.
Out here. And
I bet you can't, there's some open seats in the front, and I bet you can better. Okay.
Talk to the group.
Okay, so an email was received by the select board members from Christine Muma. And she had been discussing events in the town of Hartford. And with her work colleague, Glenn Holmes, former town manager of Buckfield. And he suggested, he told her a little bit about how things went for Buckfield in their clean up the town project, and suggested that he would be willing to come and talk to our select board regarding how that goes and legal issues around messing yards and junkyards and the like.
That's a great offer.
I thought it was a great offer, and that's why I'm bringing it up in open session. We don't have to decide right now, but I'd like to suggest that that is an offer that we'd be fools to refuse.
Can somebody forward a copy of that email? So it's on file?
I'm sure. I know Susan has a copy of it. Kathy has a copy of it.
I'm doing it on my to-do list.
In any case, that's what I'd like to suggest, is that we invite Glenn Holmes at his convenience to come to one of our select board meetings to talk to us about these things.
He's not an attorney.
Excuse me, what?
He's not an attorney, is he?
No, he just was a town manager. Now he works for
No,
Community
it's just-
Concepts.
Yeah, no, he's been away from the community concept
Oh.
for some time now. He actually works for the city of Auburn.
Oh, great.
He's just a person with,
Knowledge.
knowledge and possibly more resources in this than we have.
I will forward that email to you, Leanne. Okay, I have another hand up. And I have another hand up.
I just wanna know how many letters sent out. You should be sent out some.
Besides the, Mr. Harlow, there are 3 currently.
The code enforcement officer follows up on the complaint. And then if the complaint is valid, letters go out with a 30-day notice. And I think they sent certified or just regular
I think they were certified, yeah.
certified.
Oh, mine was just tucked in my box.
I don't know. I didn't know
And
till
unsigned.
until someone said that.
You can get some labels on your city box.
Well, two were filed and yards were cleaned and we got 3 going right now. So it's all progress, right?
That's what I asked for. Thank you.
You're welcome. Wait, Ken's first.
I just wanted to suggest, or, that it's a great idea that we have had to press to incorporate some input from someone that has some experience. I think that maybe you should consider asking the ordinance committee to also be in attendance when that takes place. See, they have already done.
I'm
some.
assuming it's gonna be at a select board meeting, so,
Yeah,
so
if they
they'll be more than welcome to be here.
We can invite them. You're invited. You're invited. Okay, do we have any other open session items? Oh, you got a hand and you got a hand.
Thanks for again. I'd like to try to improve the ambiance in here. I don't like to.
I couldn't understand a word of that.
I'm trying to improve our lives. I was in a, I think it was a planning board meeting. And it was raining outside, believe it or not, and it was very dark. And the chairperson had a flashlight around a collar. Like, should we possibly look into upgrading to put a brand new LED dimmable up there, that when it's needed, you can put it on. I know there was some discussion about trying to keep the ambiance and of the building. and
Historic,
stuff
yeah.
In the period piece. So that's fine, but I was like to suggest that we get at least a dimmable LED light right above the table, especially when the board is in session. You can't see.
It's a great idea.
Maybe we can put that on the agenda. Then the other one is the acoustics in here. I worked in the mill too many years, so maybe too, but hearing loss bad, and the acoustics, really bad. And we have the computer, we have Bluetooth, we have Bluetooth speakers. So I suggest we buy a couple of Bluetooth devices, and we put a speaker out back or 2 of them in the corners or something. And have a microphone pick up on here, because we really want to hear what they're saying, we speak very softly. And then especially the people online, if you could have that pickup right in front of that.
A better speaker than the computer speaker. Laptop speaker doesn't amount to much.
You're right, but Bluetooth does, and you can
Yes,
get
sir,
them
you
to
can.
augment that.
Leanne,
I have a karaoke Bluetooth microphone. Would that work? I was gonna bring it and I forgot.
That would help.
There's
Yeah.
no saying.
That's a possibility, but the other thing is, since I didn't move to the speaker, especially with the hearing impaired, you can go right to your hearing aids now. So it's a beautiful concept. So, anyway, suggestion, maybe we can think about it and maybe vote on it. Sometime. When I would have to allocate money towards it, I can probably research it and come up with the components.
do you have a problem with them researching speakers and stuff?
No, I don't. I think I'd like to have us consider the device that was shared with me recently. I don't know if I shared it with
The
you.
owl.
Yes, the meeting owl. It's not cheap, but basically it's a speaker that would sit here and it's like a voice seeking speaker that would listen to whoever is actually speaking. This would really require us to only speak one at a time, but that would not be a bad thing.
Ann's next.
I had a few people requesting that we not have Zoom at all. And our policy, a remote meeting policy only requires Zoom meetings when one of you are ill or out of the state or something unexpected happens.
A few people,
Mhm.
more people than show up on Zoom meetings,
No.
just checking.
Al,
Up in Region 9, Western Maine, the association, we do classes every year. When we have an owl, we name a lot of problems with the owl. Because if you were on the other side of the room, the owl would pick you up. But then we tried to use a power phone. Because you're doing a Zoom class at the same time, you gotta be really careful because you get feedback. Even the owl or starts humming. You're trying to use two devices, but the owl up there, even though we were using their system. Really, we're looking for something to fix the problem we have, we know we have an owl.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good to know.
I mean, you can spend a lot of money on something and come up with all the other, but I would try to karaoke machine. And turn it off.
I'll bring it next.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know other towns offer meetings on Facebook, but you can't participate. You can watch it, but you can't say anything.
Well,
Or
the
Zoom.
town of Buckfield has broadcasts their meeting, you can watch and or just listen on Zoom, but on Facebook, but, and you cannot participate through Facebook. However, they also have Zoom because some people who are, select board members or others are legitimate. We have a legitimate reason to be there, it's not just public participation, but it's, other members, can.
Right,
Zoom.
like when I have a work conference.
Or committee members and folks like that. At least that's my understanding. So they actually have both going on.
Okay. Is there any other new business?
Yes. If you wouldn't mind, and Kathy hasn't seen this meeting.
Okay. We have an application for a catering permit. And it is Sedgley Place wants to come here and cater a dinner for a wedding,
So somebody's having a wedding and they want. to
and
have
it's the barn,
essentially
it's the
dinner.
winery.
Not at one eventually.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
so
motion to approve.
me too. I second that. Great. All in favor? Is she in favor?
Yep.
Okay, great. Do I need to sign this? Last page. No. Third page. And this is actually the back notice page. Okay.
You might want to notice that this is a and title.
Look at that.
This goes on that.
Thank you. Right here in the pile.
And you can put this in the file too and make it a little different.
Getting to be a big pile. All right. MMA annual election ballot, the vice president and executive committee members. Is that here? I haven't seen it.
It's in here, but she's gonna have to pass you the copy of the
One
letter.
to
Yes.
fill out.
Yeah. Wow, we're getting it way ahead. So this just lets them know what we've got here, or we're voting for their MMA.
No. It's our MMA, and can I explain this to you?
Please,
Sure, I'd be happy to. Okay, it's our MMA, because we are members.
yes,
Okay,
Yeah.
so, these are the people who have stood for office. There is, we can vote for three, and basically, I've always just checked them, because these are people.
gonna
who are
say, if
willing-
they're
these are
doing it and
people
it's-
who are willing to serve on the executive committee, bless their hearts, and so.
Seems
check,
like we're gonna
check,
pick-
check,
yep.
check, unless, of course, we had to write in. I don't see a place for writing
No.
here, and frankly, I don't have anybody to write in anyway, I don't
No.
know about you.
great.
But in any case, we take this, date and then this post, you can sign that part. You can, you can just.
And we
sign
do
it.
this every
You can
year.
just sign this, yeah.
This was like my
See,
first meeting
this-
last year.
This is perfunctory.
Yep.
We don't have to all sign it. You can sign it for us, and I think I'll be happy. Great.
Great.
Great, we'll put that right in your file.
There's your file.
Here's your file.
Okay, appointments and
Moving right along.
resignations, and then waste committee ACO. All right, so
We did have, Liam has
the folder for ACO.
Yes,
Yeah, you got the folder for ACO?
she does. Or the job.
Yeah,
I have to run over and get some of.
yeah.
Oh, paper, is anybody else?
There's no paper in this.
There's-
Oh, there is. Okay.
No, it's a couple down. Yeah, there you go, right there.
There we go.
Right there.
This is where Ronnie's name goes at the top, right?
Yeah.
When I can hear you.
We are signing resignation, well, we don't have a new resignation, we are at the point where it's resignations and appointments.
Right.
And we are making an appointment.
And we're going to make an appointment to put Ronnie Sue Vashon back on as ACO with some new things that will help keep track and keep us all accountable.
Having had a performance review, we've decided on some stuff, and she is getting reappointed at this time.
If someone makes a motion.
I would, go ahead.
So you,
Like to make a motion that Ronnie Sue Vashon be our ACO for the upcoming 23-24 year.
I second it.
she seconded.
Mhm. All in favor?
I do have a resignation or two.
Yes,
That's one of
And
them.
you have to sign that one,
I
yes?
think you all saw the other one, if it's still in effect.
Stephanie first, please. Oh, come on.
This is the same one.
Yeah, well, that's, as you get a copy and I get a
Gotcha.
copy.
When someone hands me two, I just assume there are two resignations. Yep.
Not this,
Nope.
okay, well, it looks like we need somebody else for the solid waste committee.
Yep. Do we have any people that
The
have
other- the other one
ex-
is-
expressed an interest in solid waste?
Yeah, so I move we accept this resignation with regrets.
I just realized I have a whole nother. Yeah, you know who it is?
Yes, Penny Proby's.
It's nothing personal, I just didn't have
I'd like to, I have a thought. I'd like to nominate Kathleen Terry to serve on the solid waste committee.
Wait a minute, was there a second to the?
Yes.
So you.
So yes,
second-
I'll second, yeah, that we accepted his resignation,
Her,
her resignation, sorry,
Right, did you vote?
to accept,
say all in favor.
all in favor. I thought I already did,
I missed it, I guess, sorry.
No, remember this.
because Kathy seconded it. So there's a nomination on the table, Kathleen,
I'm sorry.
there's a nomination on the table,
So who nominated her?
Lee.
I nominated the solid waste. Oh, you'd be good at this, are you kidding?
Cemetery. Sure.
Oh, you'll be good at this.
Sure.
Was there a second?
I second that nomination. All in favor?
And I
And
don't,
did Kathy vote?
Yeah.
Yes, okay.
I don't know if Lenny resigned from the waste committee or not.
I believe we have a letter here that includes her resignation.
Like, I actually rescinded it.
Well, she originally resigned from everything, right?
I will be serving on no committees in the future. Please consider my resignation from the solid waste committee as well, which I will charge to revive, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, so, yes, she has resigned.
So-
And we have it in writing.
Yeah.
So
do we accept that resignation?
I move we accept that resignation
With regrets. I second that.
What resignation is that?
Lenny Eichmann has resigned from solid waste.
I just can't hear you guys.
Sorry, right,
I know you're tired, but
sorry.
I'm gonna run over and get some appointment papers. There's correspondence.
Yeah, sure.
No, this is crazy, but it would be my first winter here year round.
You're gonna stay here around.
We're gonna stay here. We drive to Colorado here at 75, it's beginning to put wear on me. And my husband can't drive that because he tends to fall down at the wheel, so I do all the driving, that's why you always see me driving. So this, are there any things like trash pickup or anything that you do a little differently, like because the
In
roads?
your neighborhood, yes, there is a dumpster that will be placed in your neighborhood in the winter. And it is for people whose roads are not serviced by RTs during the winter.
And we're not-
No, you are not, you're on a private road and it's not serviced, but there will be a dumpster placed. You know, right about the first snow.
Remember it happened one time, it was on the road and it's cut out.
So it's on that cutoff road where, yeah, so on the where the weeds are, you take that left, that cutoff road. And just past Larry Campbell's house, he graciously gives property to put that dumpster on every, and he's already agreed for this upcoming
Yeah,
season.
and we are beholden to him to keep it neat and not overfilled and so forth, but it seems to be working well so far.
He does a really good job.
Well, it's not his job to keep it neat, it's everybody's job.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, I totally agree.
Yeah.
I totally agree.
So we do have that. At this point, there's no place to recycle because there's no place to really put your individual things out there. And I wanted to talk to the solid waste committee about that to see if there was a place at town office, people could drop them in different bins if we had someone build them. So that those that are on seasonal roads have a place to put, if they want to recycle, which I hope they do. So,
For some reason, I remember a long time ago, we had one down on the next road down from the,
Yeah, that went poorly.
okay.
That went poorly and the landowner objected vociferously.
You're welcome.
If I do something wrong, just call.
You'll be all good. Oh, I can't imagine. All right,
Well, continue around. I just want to brought me or something. And I'll tell you where it's a big bit as good as Colorado. and Green.
We got more water anyway.
Kathleen, THERI.
AULT.
AULT.
You have a bunch there?
There's a bunch of blank ones.
What the heck? Why didn't you tell me? I just ran over to get some.
Because I just took the front page off and said, oh, look at that. I got some blank ones right here. How helpful is that?
Oh, you need the
So-
exercise.
So do you want to fill this out or do you want me to?
But,
I'll give it back to you,
Pennies
actually.
expired in 2026. Lenny's expired in 2025, so what is happening?
Do you want to start through 2026 or 2025?
Start with 2025. June, I mean. They only need one once a month.
Yeah, if you're looking.
And that's the only one you've seen, right?
It's the only one we have at this time. Gotta choose somebody who wants to be involved.
Right. More they do. So I'm reviewing correspondence. Oxford Hills Technical School has got 2 robotic arms that are surplus. They come with controllers, user displays, programming manuals, or stands ready to run and go. These robotic arms are meant to be used in state-of-the-art manufacturing modules for high-speed pick-and-place operations. They were purchased to aid in proof of concept for a Fortune 500 company. I can't imagine that we have anything here in our tiny little town that we could use those for.
Yeah, not so much.
The Bear Pond newsletter came out and I see you printed that. Oh, good. Talks about the boat parade and stuff. And if you haven't looked at it, the second page has the winners and Rusty's right in the middle.
That's awesome.
He had a John boat out there with a palm tree and a pirate thing and playing pirate music and yeah, he was a pirate ship with a palm tree. Yo ho ho and a bottle of rum. Basically songs like that. That included the word scurvy dog and arr. So Leanne printed this out. It has a lot of good information for Bear Pond and the Lake Association. I do know that the boat launch seemed to work very well so far this summer, and the pond is so much more quiet and a whole lot less problems.
So much nicer.
So
Just.
of course, it could be because it's raining every day, but there's a whole lot less outside traffic. So
I can remember. Seems like it was only last year seeing a couple of guys ripping around in jet skis, chasing 4 loons.
loons, I saw
I
those.
mean, honest to God. Loons, you know, those lovely birds that everybody admires so much, except for people on jet skis who like to chase them.
Yeah. There's also a newsletter here from Responsible Pet Care, which I have not read, but I want to because of our meeting with ACO. I definitely want to be talking to these folks and finding out.
Yeah, you should.
Yep.
You should.
And this is the
That's not, it's something that in our packet.
We just
has
got,
to-
yeah,
has
we
to
just
do
got
with
some
person-
correspondence on,
Legal correspondence having to do with the bankruptcy.
all right.
Okay.
If there's nothing else, this
Pass-
meeting,
Pass this stuff to.
yeah, this meeting is adjourned at
Thanks for coming.
8:53. Thank you so much for coming.
We'll start, but I want to get past it.
I will do my best to speed it up for you.
Generally speaking, the correspondence and we look at it.
Gotcha.
Honest to God, every little thing you can do. to me, I know, I'll speak to you and say something. And then I'm not doing this because I'm doing this.
You know more than I do, Lou.
Yes. Well, I'm not here talking, there's not really speaking about it.
I'm not gonna learn and I'm not, right. And you helped Kathy. You have way more experience than I do. And when Kathy sat here and she had a question, you helped, and that's how we're gonna learn. Yeah. Thank you, Kathy.
See ya.